Hello and welcome to the best football show. I am Brian Baldinger at Baldy NFL on every platform, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, you name it. I'm out there. You can see me on the NFL Network this weekend out there in Los Angeles, the studios, talking about some of the preseason games on Saturday and Sunday. You can download this on your free Odyssey app. Download it, like it, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Doing a lot of training camp visits. I just finished up yesterday in Pittsburgh. It was my 10th camp yesterday in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I don't know if it's the 55th or 56th year, but I'm from Pittsburgh, born and raised in Pittsburgh. You go out to Latrobe, it's a special place. It just is. And it was special yesterday. I got out there yesterday in time for a they started practice at 10:30 yesterday. They went 2.5 hours pretty much straight. Full contact in just about every single drill. Their first big drill was 7 shots. 7 shots is Mike Tomlin's favorite. They do it a lot during camp. They put the ball at the 2-yard line, offense against defense. Like full blast. I mean, they hit as hard as any preseason game, regular season game. Offense trying to score, defense trying to keep them out of the end zone. We saw both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both go at it, at quarterback in that spot. We saw Jalen Warren stick it in. He looked awesome yesterday. So you look at them and, you just go through the practice and, they're tackling Najee Harris to the ground. But, what stood out to me was a lot of the young guys. They had kind of a veteran day for TJ, Cam Hayward, Isaac Seumalo. But, it was a great day for the young guys to get, especially the draft pick. So, Troy Fautano is their first-round pick out of Washington, and he is, he's just a very compact, powerful-looking man, and he had a good practice yesterday. Just going up against, all the pass rush, Marcus Golden, Nick Herbig, you name it. But he's playing basically right tackle right now, Broderick Jones at left tackle. That's where they got him. The 2 young guys, Zach Frazier, is working in. He was the West Virginia second-round center from West Virginia. He's competing with Nate Herbig for the starting spot. You see Mason McCormick, their 4th-round pick out of South Dakota State, the old Jackrabbit. I see him playing center, guard. Just watch him. Just watch him in practice. You watch Zach Frazier, like they're drilling guys 10 yards downfield, putting them on their back. They run with them, stay with them. Like there's some really good battles going on in there. And then, obviously there's a lot of chatter about, is Brandon Ayuk, could he be going to the Steelers? I didn't hear anybody talking about it. Jay Glazer was out there. I saw a bunch of the personnel people. I didn't bring it up. I'm not a reporter. I don't really care. I didn't hear anybody talking about it. To be honest, when I was out there, I watched George Pickens have a great practice. Everybody feels like he's, has a chance for greatness. I saw Van Jefferson running typical Van Jefferson routes, and then you look at Calvin Austin and some of the young guys, in the slot. They look fine. Tight ends look good. The guy that stood out on defense, honestly, is their draft pick, Peyton Wilson, out of North Carolina State. He was their 3rd-round pick. He just, first of all, you can't help but notice his size and how he runs. He ran the 4.3s at 238 pounds, and he's 6'4". Like you just see this tall, like fast kid that gets to the ball every play. Like they've got good linebackers now. And obviously, Patrick Queen comes over, and Landon Roberts is solid, and Cole Holcomb just got re-signed, and there's Peyton. There's everywhere you look, there's competition. Obviously, this one kid from West Virginia, rookie free agent, this Beanie Bishop has, really popped. In the slot, going up there and competing. He looks really, really good. They just the quarterbacks are going to look. I think Mike Tomlin just came out today and said Russell Wilson's our starter. He missed a bunch of days in camp, but Russell looked good yesterday. Talked to him for quite a while. He likes the offense. He kind of compared the offense to some that he had in Seattle with Pete Carroll. It's run-based, play action, take your shots. It's a lot more than that, but bootlegs, play action, off the run game. That's what Arthur Jones does. So I think he's pretty familiar with it. I think he likes it. And I think the running game is going to be really good. And I told Russell this yesterday. I'm not disparaging anything that he had in Seattle or Denver. But I told him, I said, at some point this season, I believe this is going to be the best offensive line you've ever played behind. I just think the way that they have drafted Broderick Jones, signing Isaac Seumalo, drafting Fautano, Zach Wilson, bringing in, Nate Herbig, James Daniels. I just feel like they've got competition, they've got depth, and they've got talent. And so I feel like they're going to be able to run the football this year. And you got to be able to run it in the AFC North. You're not going to compete in that division with just great quarterbacks. I mean, you got to be able to balance it up, especially when the weather turns, like it does when you get to December and January. So I like what Pittsburgh is doing. I like Mike Tomlin's practice. He's kind of a dinosaur in this business right now, the way that, he still thumps. It's not like he backs his guys off and his veteran guys. Like I said, TJ wasn't hitting yesterday, and Cam Hayward. You look at, Minka, he wasn't out there thumping, but Minka's catching off the jugs machine after practice. He knows how to back his veteran guys off. But the young guys need it. John Harbaugh does it. Jim Harbaugh does it. Danny Reed does it. The young guys need the work. So they give them the work. That was good. I came to Latrobe from Cleveland, Ohio. And I was in Cleveland not to see the Cleveland Browns the day before, but I was there to see the Houston Texans. So the Houston Texans, I saw Houston at the Hall of Fame game in Canton on Thursday. I was there. I was around the team, Nick Caserio, C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, Stephon Diggs. I saw all the guys on Thursday, but they stayed in Ohio. They play the Steelers on Friday night. So rather than go back to Houston where it's just, soupy conditions, they stayed in Ohio. In fact, Nick Caserio went to the university school north of Cleveland, and he put a brand new field in there for the Texans to practice. So we went up there, Steve Weiss and myself for the NFL Network. We were up there, all day on Monday. And it was so here's how practice went. The first guy that I talked to when I was up there was Dameon Pierce. So if you remember Dameon Pierce as a rookie coming out of Florida, he set the NFL on fire. He had a 75-yard touchdown run against the Chargers. They couldn't tackle him. I mean, he just thumped people. Last year, he just, in Bobby Slowick's offense and kind of the one-cut type of system, he wasn't very good, and Devin Singletary beat him out, and he kind of just fell along the wayside. Well, he's had a whole year to really learn the offense, and I believe Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon are going to be a very good punch. But I talked to C.J. Stroud. He's just an amazing guy. He's just an amazing man. He's an amazing leader, very confident. I put my hands up next to his hands. I had a 10 1/4 inch hands. His hands are bigger than mine. He could grip a football, never wears a glove, no matter what the conditions. He's got a naturally strong arm. He spent a lot of time working on just his footwork, but he can make every throw. I mean, if you watched his pro day in Indianapolis, Daniel Jeremiah, who, basically, did the color for it with Rich Eisen there, said it was as good a pro day as he could ever remember. And then when you go out there and you just watch these quarterbacks throw it, you're kind of reminded, he's just that talented. And so, he's telling me his conditioning. He loves playing basketball to stay in shape, and he's an athlete. But he is a. So here's how practice went. I thought they were actually dragging, and I thought it was pretty lethargic. Guys were getting sick. It was very hot and humid. The ball was on the ground. There was some missed snaps. I didn't think they got off to a good start. And, just observations. You see all these practices. You make these observations. I didn't think they were very sharp. And I was just looking at D'Amico Ryan, seeing if he was doing anything to – I've seen practices get started like that where the head coach pulls them all in, runs a lap, and says, all right, let's start this thing all over. I mean, I've seen that mentality. But he didn't do that. And so at some point they got into a team drill, probably an hour into practice. And CJ Stroud, I mean, he hit Stephon Diggs on a spray fade. He hit Tank Dell on a speed out. He hit Nico Collins on a bang 8. And I'm telling you, against tight coverage. And he put the ball, it was like T-ball. He put it right on the fingertips, one after another. And I'm telling you, the whole thing changed. It all changed. Like the energy changed. Guys were high-fiving. Stephon Diggs' chest bumping. Like everybody just picked it all up. And you go, okay, like we throw this term, franchise quarterback, around too much. But when you watch CJ go to work, like he makes everybody better. He just does. Nico Collins was in this league for 2 years prior to last year. And he was just a guy. Not knocking Nico. He's 6'4". He's got good speed. But nobody remembers anything Nico Collins did his first 2 years in this league. Last year, he's a Pro Bowl level player. He's a top 10 wide receiver in this league. He's a number 1 wide receiver. Why? Because he had a quarterback who could get him the ball in any place. In the red zone, third down, when the play breaks down, beyond the X and O's, get him on timing. He's a tall receiver with a big reach. Put the ball, where only he could go get it. Like, he just flourished. And I talked to Nico afterwards, and he said he saw it. He saw it from CJ the moment he got there. He just saw it. Now, they went through other quarterbacks that were there before him, and we're not here to disparage anybody else. CJ Stroud is just one of those guys. So then you look at that and you go, okay, that's good. And then you look at him, on this day, Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson, they had their, they had their veteran days, whatever. But you look at what they have, especially like what D'Amico brought from San Francisco. Jimmy Ward comes in with Jalen Petrie to really solidify the back end of their defense. Petrie has been an amazing player since he came out of Baylor. He fills up a stat sheet. Like, he can tackle, he can cover, he can hit. Like, he covers ground. He saves touchdowns. He's a very good player. You put him next to a veteran, Jimmy Ward's in his 11th year. And then you add that to Azeez Al-Shire, who came from San Francisco. And Azeez was awesome in Tennessee last year. Like, he was just the third linebacker in San Francisco. They had Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. He couldn't get on the field very often, but he could play. And you just look at him right now, and you watch that guy in the middle of that defense, and you watch him thump. And you just go, they're going to be better. They got Foley Fatukasi in there to eat up space. And you got, Christian Harris, who started last year next to Al-Shire right now. And then, you add, Neville Hewitt's a great special team player, and they draft Jamal. Like, they've got depth. Derek Barnett is there. He was a former first-round pick of the Eagles. They've got some real depth. And now you look at Stingley now. Like, this guy, he's just, used to be when you put your game plans together and you got the opposing team, the first thing we did in Dallas is we always put the blue chip players in blue. Okay, there's their star players. And if you look at the Houston Texans right now, you go, okay, here's their blue chip players on defense. All right, you've got Danielle Hunter coming off an amazing season. Will Anderson, Defensive Player of the Year. All right, Azeez Al-Shire, all right, is a blue chip player at linebacker. Darryl Stingley is a blue chip corner right now. All right, you would say that you would say that their safeties right now of guys like Jalen Petrie is a blue chip player. And you could go on and on and on. And then you go on offense. Obviously, you look at them on offense right now, and you look at their 11 personnel team. Dalton Schultz, along with Diggs, Nico, and Tank Dell. You got a big guy, all right, they could go get it, take it off the rim. You got a router in Stephon Diggs, who's hungry to show everybody that he's in the right place. He made and he's going to be hungry to show everybody. And then Tank Dell's back from the injury that he had last year, and he's 100%. And he's just got suddenness and quickness like nobody's business. You put the 11 personnel on the field, and you got to match up with those three. With that quarterback, Laramie Tunsil protecting the blind side, Titus Howard, Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason. You put that group together now, that's a good group, a really good group. So I spent the day with him. D'Amico's an amazing guy. Like, he rose quickly, but, he had a great career. Obviously came out of Alabama, great NFL career, gets starts with San Francisco and sees that organization just grow up. And so all the guys leave and took over, for a couple different coordinators that left. And he was ready. He was just ready, and he got a good team. So that's the Houston Texans. And then I was in Buffalo on Sunday. And just quickly, first of all, there's just one. Josh Allen he's just a talent. He's just a special talent. And, I went out. Aaron Cromer's their offensive line coach, and we have a real good history with each other. So I went down to start the day with the offensive line. I saw Deion Dawkins down there, and Osiris Torrance, and all the new guys that are there right now, right? So you look at what they've done, like on the offensive line right now. So they put Connor McGovern, last year's left guard, to center to replace Mitch Morse. Like, upgrade, I think, in size. David Edwards is a huge left guard. Terrence Spencer Brown, this is a good offensive line. Deion Dawkins been to 3 straight Pro Bowls. When Joe Brady took over last year, they ran the ball as well as anybody the last 8 weeks of the season. Ran the ball right to the 4th straight division title, and playoff win in Pittsburgh. And James Cook he's just an elite talent. But so I'm around talking to the offensive line and getting the lay, just talking to some of the guys. And so I'm walking away, go get ready for a TV show we had to do. And Deion Dawkins, I've known him since he was a sophomore at Temple, but he goes, "Hey, Baldy, I want to introduce you to," and he introduces me to Keon Coleman, their first pick, 2nd-round pick out of Florida State, and kind of the buzz of camp, because they got to replace Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And you just watch. First of all, you look at the size of Keon Coleman. I'm 6'4", and I'm looking at him eye to eye, like he's a big receiver. And then you watch his suddenness, his ability just to change direction, catching everything they throw to him. You just go, I don't know if they're going to replace Diggs yet. The guy was amazing in Buffalo. And Gabe Davis had some great Sundays for sure. But Dalton Kincaid is a star. Dawson Knox is a great player. I just feel like they're going to be fine on offense, especially the way it changed last year. Run first. Josh Allen accounted for 51 touchdowns last year, running and passing, counting the postseason. Nobody was close to 51 touchdowns. And you just look at him. He's just a horse. And, he's the leader. He's having fun. He's got this, you're in the red zone, and he's just, making these stick throws and extending these plays. And, it was exciting. And then you look at him defensively, and you get Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano back at inside linebacker. Those guys are a core group. Both of them have great speed. They're perfect in their zone looks and how much ground they cover. They got to replace 2 safeties in Jordan Poyer and Mike Hyde, no doubt. All right, so they've got guys there. But I feel like you're going to see a reborn Von Miller. I think the Von Miller they thought they were going to get when he left the Rams. He's really healthy. He had a great offseason. I was around him a lot. I think the defensive line is going to be good. I think they're well coached. Sean McDermott made a tough decision in firing his offense coordinator last year and elevating Joe Brady. I've been a fan of the Jets all offseason, and I still am. But I'm not putting this division. I'm not saying Buffalo can't go win their 5th straight division. Like, they expect to win their 5th straight division. They're a confident team, and they're a fun team to be around. They get their work done. They do it in a good way. They know how to practice. You don't see a lot of fights. Guys aren't on the ground. It's just they're a veteran team in a lot of ways. They got some young guys, James Cook and Keon Coleman. They got some young guys. They got to step up, but they're talented, and the quarterback is special. So anyways, I'm heading tomorrow to go see the Jets and the Commanders in Florham Park, New York. I'm really excited about it. I'll come back and talk to you about it either tomorrow or Friday. And then I'm heading out to Los Angeles, NFL Network headquarters. I'll be in the studio there with a variety of different guys, just breaking down these preseason games. Tune in all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be talking about these games. I'll have breakdowns coming from all these games all weekend long. Come find them at Baldy NFL, and come, find me right here on this free Odyssey app. Download it, like it, subscribe it, and I look forward to talking to you real soon.